guys, welcome to our live video. It's been a while since I have been on. Today is Happy Equinox Day. We are officially in fall as of something like 5 o'clock this morning here in Utah. So thanks for joining us. We're going to just hit really quick 3 tips today on how you can transform your life, because as you know, when we are going through a season change, there's a lot of energy about change, transformation. And fall is one of my favorite times of the year because as you're coming to the last quarter of your life, it's really great to take a step back and just take a deep breath. So everybody, take a deep breath with me and just reflect over the past year. How has your life been? How has 2019 been? Is it something that you feel really good about, or are you feeling a little bit of embarrassment or shame that maybe you didn't accomplish your goals? So first of all, if you're feeling the latter, take a big deep breath and let that go. All of the shame, all of the frustration that maybe I haven't achieved my goals yet, and that makes me frustrated. So let that go, and let's look now into this present moment of change and transformation as the seasons change, the beauty in the air, the color of the leaves, here in America, as the transformation happens, the leaves begin to come into their completion. I call it a completion state. So today's topic is all about completion. What do you want to be complete with in your life? And if you saw in my post on the Happy Equinox, I said, in order to create a life that you love, the first thing you need to know is what you want. And sometimes that's really difficult for us to know what we want. In fact, when my clients come in to see me the first time, they don't know what they want. So if you can recognize that that's pretty normal, not knowing what you want, and the best way to find out what you want is by knowing what you don't want. So I recommend taking out a piece of paper, and on your piece of paper, draw a line down the middle. And on the left-hand side, you're going to put, I don't want. And then on the right-hand side of the paper, you're going to put what I do want. And today, when you get a moment, take some time to go through and list all the things in your life right now that you're experiencing that you no longer want to experience. And it could be health, it could be relationships, it could be feeling poverty or lack, and make a list of those things. I don't like my job, I'm feeling frustrated with my health. Whatever that is, make a list of those things that you don't want. Then on the other half of the page, you're going to write the things that you do want, which is basically the opposite of what you don't want. It's quite simple. So if you don't want poor health, then you want to be healthy. And on your do want page, let's get as much detail as you can about what you do want in your health. For example, if you struggle with walking for a mile, then take the time to go, okay, I would like to be able to breathe freely walking a mile or jogging a mile or running a mile, whatever that ideal health is to you, and get as clear on it as possible on your do want list. Bring in as much clarity of what you do want as possible. If you really feel stuck, a lot of stuck energy around your career, for example, like I can't get another job or work is hard for me, then you're going to write out what would be the ideal career for you. If you had all the time and money you wanted, for example, what would you be doing with them? And start writing out what your ideal career would be. Then as you get clear on your health and your career, also relationships, if you had all the relationships were in sync, that your relationship, your friends, your family, your lovers, your partners, everything was in sync and flowing, what would those relationships look like? So starting with a don't want and do want list, and then going to your do want list and hone in on one area that you want to create superbly. So let's say I want to have amazing relationships. Let's say you might be struggling with a couple of relationships in your life, maybe children or a partner, and there's a lot of fighting. You might be having some struggles with people. And so what would the ideal relationship look like if you didn't have any contention in those relationships? So get clear on what a healthy relationship would look like: being in harmony, being out of conflict, really respecting your differences. And you've got to start imagining it, imagining possibilities for yourself. This is where people get so stuck because they can't imagine the ideal situation. So by writing out what a healthy relationship looks like for you, it will allow you to flow into that ideal relationship. Okay, so the first step, be clear on what you want by using your don't want, do want list, and then hone into one area. For this season, I'm using my career, for example, of what I want to create for the last quarter of the year. And I'm completing a book, and so I'm really clear on seeing the end result of that book, giving people a lot of information that helps transform their lives into a life they love. The second thing you've got to learn to do is quiet your inner critic that says, I can't do it, life is hard, life is a struggle. Say, shh. Be aware that your inner critic, or my clients, some of you are my clients that are online, know it as our drunk monkey. That little guy who sits on your shoulder and he's really loud and he tells you everything that you can't do. This is your inner critic. You have to be aware of that inner critic that's hurting you so that you can learn to quiet that critic, be aware of him, acknowledge him, and dismiss him. Now, people say, well, that's pretty hard to do because that inner critic goes on and on and on. So how can you dismiss your inner critic? It takes practice. It's called meditate. And in order to meditate, somebody's at the door. In order to meditate, you've got to train your brain. That means you've got to learn how to say, oh, my inner critic's taken over right now, and I can turn it around and focus on what I would rather have rather than the fear and the worry. People expect to go to the gym and lift 100 pounds. That's crazy. If you've never lifted weights before and you expect to go lift 100 pounds all at once, it's not going to happen. And when people tell me, no, I cannot meditate, then I say to them, it's like going to the gym. You've got to practice. So sit with that for a few minutes every day, even if it's just 2 minutes a day. You're going to sit and be aware. What's going on in my head? How much of those thoughts are negative? And turn them around. I recommend starting out with 2 minutes of gratitude for your past wins. 2 minutes of coming into the present, for being grateful for who you are, being on this planet, and surrendering to source, your life, surrendering all of the hurt, the anger, surrendering. And then 2 minutes of what is my ideal life? What would that look like if I had my ideal life? So your do want list, focusing on that do want list and thinking only about that for 2 minutes. You have to start somewhere. So I say, start at 2 minutes, move it to 6 minutes, and break it up in 2-minute increments with a timer to start training your brain to be very, very aware of what you're thinking and feeling. This allows you to become the observer of the thought rather than the thought. You can be observing the drunk monkey. So to recap, know what you want by your don't want, do want list. Train your brain to get out of the drunk monkey. Train your brain to be the observer of the thoughts and learn to turn them around and focus on what you do want. And number 3, meditate on the go. So my clients know what this means. It means mindfulness. So for example, when you're in the shower, be present to the shower and just imagine this water is just washing out all negativity. While you're in the shower, wash your energy field as well as your physical body. So all of the junk from the past 24 hours, your stress, your anxiety, frustrations, let it go down the drain. Meditate on the go means be in the present moment of whatever you're doing and be mindful of whatever you're doing and infuse those thoughts with positive thoughts, with happy thoughts. So after you've released all the negativity, bring in the positive light, inspiration. Allow yourself to be in this place in the shower of receiving. And imagine that your spiritual team, your angels, your guides, they're all giving to you in that moment. And you are just receiving through this water as it flows over you, receiving amazing gifts. So that's one example, being in the shower, meditate on the go. When you're in your car, get in the habit of looking around and being present to what's around you, not the people that are driving horribly, but nature. Get in the habit of looking around and being in the moment of gratitude for the beauty, for God's work of art all around you. When you're brushing your teeth, be in the moment of gratitude for those teeth. I mean, you know, they've come a long ways with you and you have them for your whole life until you don't. If you don't take care of them, then yes, you can lose them, but be grateful for the food that you're preparing. When you are preparing a meal, when you're eating a meal, be in the moment of gratitude. The more gratitude that you can feel throughout your day by doing this technique, meditate on the go, the higher your frequency will go. Your frequency is that vibe that is always creating. And as you move your frequency higher, life flows. And I am a walking, living testimony of this concept. Life will flow freely to you as you learn how to be in gratitude more and more throughout your entire day. So we do that through clarity. Clarity equals power. Know what you want by knowing what you don't want. Move to the do want list. Stay focused on one area of your life and start imagining that. Quiet your drunk monkey. Meditate. I know there's so much resistance around this. Start with 2 minutes a day. Move to 5 minutes a day. Move to 6 minutes a day. Break it up in 3 increments. Give your brain something to do. When you notice that it floats away, daydreaming about something else, just bring it back. Stay in the present moment. Be the observer of the thought. I'm now at an hour a day. Sometimes I'll do 90 minutes a day of meditation. If I can do it, you guys can do it. Even if you tell me you have ADD, I'll say start with 2 minutes and practice. Okay, the third thing is meditate on the go. Use mindfulness of whatever you're doing in this present moment to feel gratitude. Gratitude for washing your face, washing your hair, even putting on clothes that you have clothes to wear, preparing your food. Every time you look at the clock, take a deep breath and feel the gratitude move through your body for your body performing like it does. I go more into this in my book, Blissful Living, which will be released at the end of the year, and I look forward to sharing that all with you. I'll be doing more live videos. Thank you guys for joining, and hopefully these tidbits will add a piece of joy to your life as you create a life you love. Namaste.